And hello from Senegal. I think I like saying Senegal. Something about that. Got a cool vibe here on the beach. Getting ready to head to South Africa. So get ready for that. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Like, share, all that good stuff. Yeah. I wanted to before I left, I wanted to talk about a couple things, just a couple observations that inspired me to keep sharing and inviting people to go on these experiences here in Africa, whether it's east, west, south, north, wherever we are. I was reminded of when I was growing up, and there was a song that embodied, now that I'm looking back, it embodied propaganda. I don't know if y'all remember this or not, and I'm gonna break it down for you. There comes a time when we heed a certain cause, and the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me check the lyrics here. Hold on. I gotta do this right. I can't mess it up. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, that's right. All right, let's rerun. Let's run that again. There comes a time when we heed a certain cause, and the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. Country, we can go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all are part of God's great big family, and the truth, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making, we're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. All right, I'm not gonna sing the whole song. But back in, what's that, 85, I believe, that song came out, and it was Build USA for Africa. All the popular artists of that time came together after, I think it was the Grammy Awards, either American Music Awards or Grammy Awards, and sang the song that I believe was written by Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson. So had the warm and fuzzy, they were playing the music, had the song played, like I think they played one day, all the radio stations in America played it at like 1 o'clock or noon or something. And what it gave the impression is that Africa was this desolate place that needed saving from America, by America. And so they used images, some of the most destitute images that they could find in order to make this presentation to the world that somehow Africa, the whole Africa, all the countries of Africa, everyone was sick and dying and needed a helping hand. And this blasted throughout the world, in Europe, in America, everywhere. Now I could hear somebody saying, well, the people do need help over in Africa, and I send my $30 a month to the NGO, and I send the money over to the people, and I'd be trying to feed them because they're so hungry. Look at them. Oh, Lord. Have you ever noticed these pamphlets and everything, that when they're asking for aid, the majority of the time the people are of brown complexion. So we go with this and we think that this is the narrative. And they do the same thing in America when it comes to brown communities, that these are disadvantaged, underprivileged communities that need this saving. After spending time in Africa, especially in the parts of Africa below the Saharan desert, where the land is fertile, where you can grow all year long, where I've tasted some of the absolute best fruits, vegetables in my entire existence. When we equate poverty, oftentimes we use it as a Western standard, but when I'm looking around and I'm saying that people can just grow whatever they want, endless amounts of food in these particular areas, I said, well, the wealth is there. When I'm on the Salt Lake and the natural resource, the mineral, the salt that is able to be sold to the world. Now, they don't sell it for probably the worth of it, because, you know, the way that they have the trade system set up where people can't really trade freely, and they put these tariffs and just have it really set up to where the wealth is not transferred properly. But what songs like We Are the World and Feed the World, let them know it's Christmas time, feed the world, all of those songs cause people to believe that the place that has the wealth is actually poor. Because in convincing us that wealth is grocery stores with processed foods and GMOs, and that's what we want, to have these foods with aspartame and chemicals that are banned in one country and not banned in another country, all of this stuff. And so I come here, had, again, the best mangoes I had in my life, the best oranges I've had in my life, here in the part of the world that they say is poor. And if you can convince the people that they're poor, just like many so-called African Americans, well, they've convinced us, for many of us, that we're poor. But yet, if you put all of us collectively together as a country, we would be within the top 15 wealthiest countries in the world. Our economy, if you take African Americans alone, we're not talking about the entire African diaspora, just African Americans alone, their GDP would be between 1.5 and 1.7 trillion dollars. But many of us are walking around crying broke because they've convinced us that we're broke, convincing us that they somehow need to come help us, save us. And I see that narrative even on the continent of Africa and other places. Please come save me, please come rescue me, please come give me opportunity, when in some places that's legit. And so I'm not dismissing certain aspects of what's real. I'm trying to paint a balanced perspective so that when we understand this stuff, how we're being marketed to. And so when you come and you see the people, you say, these people are ingenious. They're making things happen. It might not be the way we do it, but these people are ingenious. How they make things happen. I was on the ferry and going to the Gambia. I said, wow. How, you know, I always joke, I talk about how many parts of Africa are like the living Walmart, because you have everything you need on the street. Washing machine, casket, name some fire extinguisher, Q-tips, Kleenex, sanitary knife, whatever you need, you can get it. Just driving down the road. So what I'm hoping to do is help us to understand how our minds have been toyed with by these NGOs late at night. They come on, oh, the people in Africa are dying and they need us. They are. I mean, there are people who are. I'm not saying in remote areas and certain things are happening, but I want them to go to one of the trailer parks in the United States and do that same thing. One of those areas in Paris and do the same thing. They don't do that. And we don't even, you know, I don't know. I can't say that we don't care, because I don't think it's even put in front of us to care. But what I'm learning more and more is that people are waking up and saying, oh, no. You know, when you start digging into some of these NGOs and finding out that maybe 30 cents on a dollar actually gets to the people, and it's just like another extraction. The resources come out of the country. The people aren't properly compensated. Now, there's this sudden need for charity. But I always say, if you pay the people the value of the resources and their talent and skill, there's no need for charity. But if you convince people that they don't have and that they're poor, then they're like, please come bring your NGO and help us. And I'm not just talking about Africa, I'm talking about America, I'm talking about wherever it is. Let me get on your welfare system. Let me do this, can the church give me some food? Can the church feed me? And you got food everywhere around. So really, oftentimes it speaks to mindset. Now, again, I'm not saying this is everybody's situation. There's some people who are legitimately destitute. But I see some grown people that's got more than capabilities with this particular mindset, saying, I can't do it, I can't. And I was like, dude, we need to take you over to Africa for real, put you on the streets of Lagos for 2 weeks, and you get out there and hustle and see how this thing really goes down. You know, so when I think about this, I just hope that we stop and really understand, even when it comes to a lot of the different churches and stuff like that, yes, the people need our help, and we're going to go over there and help the poor people, and we're going to go, just pay the people what they're worth. Just if you're going to buy some cocoa from them, pay them what they're worth. They don't need your charity. They don't need your charity. They don't need the other stuff you're peddling. Just pay people a fair wage or fair compensation for what they bring to the table. And that will solve the problem. But then you have to ask yourself, why aren't people willing to do it? And that's what leads to more questions. And that's what I think when people start doing that, you know, now people don't like you to question. They don't want you to question anything. They want you to just get along and just shut up and don't say nothing. Just go with the status quo. You know, either or. If they don't like what you're saying in Africa, go back to America. If they don't like what you're saying in America, go back to Africa. I tell them I can claim both. That's right. That's what my DNA does. I can claim both. Now, and that's another interesting thing I was having a conversation with someone about, is that my DNA tells a story. You know, my DNA, you know, when people say, oh, this didn't happen and that didn't happen, and I pull my DNA, and my DNA tells me, and not just from that, but also knowing from my genealogy and the history of my family, that Africa, I'm dominant African. There's a considerable amount of European. There's indigenous, what they call indigenous American, and then there's some Asian in the mix. So when I discovered that I was of Portuguese, Spanish descent, I said, well, this is consistent with the stories. And then I come to West Africa, and when I roam around West Africa, I blend in, just like, and even in East Africa too, because I got some Kenyan happening in there. And I sit back and I say to myself, these are the stories that our families don't talk about back in America. They believe America, they believe in America superior. Believe it with all of our conditions, these chronic illnesses that we have, and chronic, not just chronic physical illnesses, but chronic psychological stuff. And I'm not talking about mental illness, I'm talking about mindset illness that we have, believing that we're really better. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, y'all, there's some people out here who really believe they're better, wouldn't dare step foot here in this paradise. I was like, right, wouldn't come here, but would opt to go someplace white because they think it's right. But yet they holler Black Lives Matter. Yet they're still marching and talking about how bad Donald Trump is. But they are the same ones saying S-hole countries. They're the same ones with the same mentality. Same ones. It blows my mind. Black people who talk about Donald Trump use his language. Call West Africa S-hole countries. Won't dare visit. But they're really missing out. And that's what I realized, missing out. And that's why they don't want us to come, because we see the fertility of the land, the vibrance of the people, the resolve of the people, the strength of the people, the kindness of the people. And when you begin to see this for yourself, then it changes people internally. Well, I know somebody from Africa and they didn't like us, in America, they didn't like us. I'm not talking about people who came over who might have an attitude. You're gonna run into people with attitudes all over. You're gonna run into Negroes from America you're gonna run into uppity Negroes from America who got attitudes and all of that. You're gonna find stuff, and that's the other thing. People talk about how bad it is. Well, you know, it's bad in Africa. I say every time I come over, people getting shot driving down the street in America. Now, not that America's horrible. I'm not trying to paint that picture, because some people will think, because you say certain things, I'm not painting the picture that America's horrible. It's not. Well, certain parts are horrible, just like there's certain parts of Africa and Europe and other places, and South America and wherever else you want to go that are horrible. But it's just, I find it interesting that when it comes to Africa, that the horrible is what is most associated with it, or some kind of way, some sort of deficiency. When you get to see it on a broader level, it's not deficient like what the propaganda machines would like you to think. And I would definitely challenge you to think twice about them NGOs you sending that money to. So, all right, so anyway, my mic telling me that I need to hurry up, so I'm gonna wrap this up. More on the way from South Africa, y'all. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're gonna take this thing, our next goal, 20,000, and we're gonna keep it rolling. And please, join me on one of these amazing Maximum Impact Travel Adventures. Talk to you soon.
Open up your eyes and see all the fun and mystery. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny. From the mountains to the shore, so many things to explore. Take an African adventure with Darren and Destiny.
The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. And Darren and Destiny are twin brother and sister, and you go on their adventures throughout the African diaspora, meaning so African diaspora destinations, primarily focused in Africa, but we go to South America, we're going to go to the Caribbean. Their first book is going to take you to Ghana, and then we're going to go on a safari, and from there we're going to go to Ethiopia, and then we go to Salvador, Brazil. And what the goal is to be able to inspire curiosity in the continent of Africa, in our children from a very young age, and to really tell a more accurate story. Most of our children are exposed to negative images, late night infomercials about how bad things are, everybody's sick, everybody's poor, everyone's uneducated, but that's simply not true. So what Darren and Destiny and their family do is they go to different African destinations. They are learning about these different places. You're beginning to see positive images, but still telling the truth. I mean, that's the important thing, to tell the truth about some of the things that have occurred. But it's all done on our children's level, so they begin to understand it. And it begins to pique their curiosity. They begin to learn more. And hopefully one day they will want to explore and visit the continent of Africa and its many countries. There's just so much that Darren and Destiny are able to do, and as they're doing it, it's like they begin to open the minds of a new generation, and they don't get bombarded and indoctrinated with negativity. They're actually able to see positivity and inspiring images and messages about the African diaspora, as well as those who are still indigenous to the continent of Africa, and they begin to learn more and just see things differently. So I'm excited about introducing the Adventures of Darren and Destiny.